A lot of times when clients come to us, they come with a variety of reasons. It's because what they're currently doing isn't working. They know their processes are clunky. They know they're not getting reports on time. A lot of times they don't trust the information that they're getting. So they know they have a problem, but they don't quite know how to get there. We've spent nearly 15 years developing this formula for a successful onboarding process with our clients. And the lessons that we've learned from that is that it's necessary for us to dedicate the resources up front to address all of the pain points. At the point at which a client comes to the startup team, they've already gone through the sales process. But what we do is we want to refine that, dig into each of the details, take a deep dive into each phase of what we're doing. We know it's an uncomfortable stage because we're asking for a lot of their time. They're opening themselves up to all of the areas that, aren't going well. And so we have to learn their personnel, their processes, where they are, what struggles they're going through, where they want to go, so that we can put applications in place, we can put processes in place that will allow them to move to where they want to go, not just where they are, so that if volume increases, workflow doesn't necessarily have to change. So what's unique about accountingdepartment.com is that we do assign a full team to the startup phase. We have 5 people that are assigned to every client. And what that does is that gives them the full range of support. It's a full team approach to making sure that things don't fall through the cracks. We want to set you up for success when we transition you to the permanent team and you're up and running. From the beginning, we want to foster a relationship of trust, always with the end goal of being able to get them information that will help them to run their business. That's what they've been missing before they came to us. The implementation team has a very specialized skill set. It's nonstop, ongoing, all the time, looking for different technology, better technology, different processes. We want to make sure that we're always on the forefront of new technology so that we can bring that to our clients so that they can benefit from a more efficient process. Because it's not cookie cutter in the sense that one thing that we do for this client we can do across the board. We have to make adjustments as appropriate for a particular client's needs. As we go through each phase with the client, we're documenting all of that. There's no relearning. The client doesn't have to then get a permanent team and have to reteach them all the things that we went through during that 8 to 10 week process. Our implementation team works extensively with the permanent team to make sure that they're comfortable. They'll be on calls. You'll know their face. It's not a cold handoff. The clients will know their permanent team well in advance of the transition. In the end, they come out of that implementation stage looking completely different than they did when they came in.
My name is Rich Oakes. I'm the president of GigSmart. GigSmart is a software development company addressing the needs of the gig economy. GigSmart allows businesses to source workers on demand. Sourcing temporary workers hasn't changed in decades. Historically, it's slow, expensive, and it's initiated through agencies. GigSmart fixed that. We have 2 apps, one app for businesses called GigSmart Get Workers, one app for workers, GigSmart Get Gigs. We launched 7 months ago, and today, inarguably, we have the most advanced mobile technology platform in the gig economy, giving businesses access to a pool of local hourly workers with over 3,000 skills who can work now when a company business has urgent, unexpected labor needs that arise. Before accountingdepartment.com, before that relationship started, as a company, we practice what we preach. We believe an effective labor strategy in today's labor market includes a very healthy combination of 3 things. First of all, we believe a company should be utilizing traditional W-2 employees. Secondly, we believe very key strategic third-party relationships are critical. And the third bucket is we believe companies should be embracing independent workers, freelancers, and agile contingent workforce. And specifically for GigSmart's accounting function, we looked at building an internal team and we looked at third-party relationships. Based on a review of the 2 options and the life cycle of where GigSmart was or is, accountingdepartment.com was a very cost-effective solution that could meet our needs. We actually met accountingdepartment.com at a Vistage function. I believe the first time was in Columbus, Ohio. I met Luke and Bill. When initially meeting them, we were trying to uncover how the relationship would work. GigSmart, we had no interest in simply hiring a bookkeeper. We needed to identify a partnership, a partner that had the expertise and the knowledge to provide sound recommendations influencing our current and future state of accounting. And we found that in accountingdepartment.com. Becoming a client, when we were conducting our due diligence before the engagement started, we talked to several other Vistage companies who were currently using accountingdepartment.com. Those calls went very well. Based on those calls and our needs, we decided to enter into the partnership. And to date, we've been very pleased. GigSmart CFO, Vince Catino, found the onboarding to be very thorough and comprehensive. Keep in mind, Vince has Big Four experience. So Vince knows what good looks like. And all of us at GigSmart are very pleased with the level of experience we're receiving to date. The overall experience, we're very pleased with accountingdepartment.com and enthusiastic about this relationship. For us, it made sense. As a startup, our CFO is also our CHRO. And for our CFO to start building an internal team, an accounting team at this stage, would have been a big project. To do that when he has many more facets of his role within our company would have been very challenging, to say the least. And accountingdepartment.com has the expertise and the ability to scale up our accounting function much more quickly than we could have accomplished if we chose to do it internally. So based on expertise, speed to scale, and cost, the decision for us was no-brainer. I mean, it was a slam dunk. And to add to that, the simple fact that everyone we talked with, from Luke to Bill to many others, have been wonderful to work with. So any company evaluating their accounting department needs and function should consider accountingdepartment.com as a potential solution.
When clients do migrate over from startup, they definitely have some concerns about the relationship they've already built with the team, and they're comfortable with them, and they've already gone through an onboarding process. So our role when we come back in is to reestablish what are their needs, what are their goals.
We help them to understand the information that's presented in their financial statements, to use that information to make good business decisions about how efficiently they're operating their businesses.
There are clients that come to us that have been doing the books internally themselves. They've either hired, a bookkeeper, they have a family member, or somebody that they believe is qualified to be doing their financials. And what happens is they lose control over that process. They don't have a clear, defined process in place, so they really don't know what that person's doing. And why they come to us is we're organized and we have processes in place that allow them to see exactly what's being done every day.
You're going to have a partner with your business. You're going to see us as an integral part of your day-to-day operations. You're going to see us as a resource to reach out to when you encounter an issue. We're going to be at the forefront of your mind when you have a problem.
I think to prime ourselves for the future, it all starts with the first piece of data that we get from the clients, and that's our bookkeeper team. So we really strive to make sure that the bookkeepers understand their clients and they understand the why behind what they're doing.
What is valuable in your business? What metrics do you need to be measuring? We will curtail those metrics and customize them specifically for your organization. Yes, here's what happened last month, but how can we learn from that? How can we use this information to work towards your future? What do you see on your horizon? These are things that we're discussing in conversations month after month. You don't have to bring it to us. We're going to ask you about your business because we care about you as our partner.
We are definitely a numbers-driven business, and so when we see things, we think of things as spreadsheets and very linear, and a lot of our clients are definitely in fields that are more design and visual. So we have tools available to give them the same information graphically or even with motion now, so that they can hold their attention better than just showing them an Excel spreadsheet and walking them through it. We're always looking for what can help this client. If somebody's saying this is the pain point for me, We have a team that's always looking into what new technologies are emerging in our space.
I see that technology provides us opportunities, and that's what we have to do at accountingdepartment.com.
We're poising ourselves as a company to move ahead and embrace the technologies that are coming. There's a lot of companies that will shy back from that, and we go full steam into trying to learn those applications and to see where they're going to fit our clients' needs.
We've provided them with that education of their financial information, and so now they're not so focused on what happened last month, last week, last year. They're more focused on what happens next week, next month, next year. So we're working together as a team to define what matters to them, what we need to measure, what we need to put in front of them weekly, monthly, quarterly, in order to help them to achieve their goals as an organization.
You really have a team that goes beyond the bookkeeper and the controller that you're assigned with. So while you may interface consistently with your team, your two people, there's an entire organization that's dedicated to accounting. It's accounting department. So it's not just this is one entity's accounting department. That's our whole mission.
My name is Ricardo Silva, and I am the CEO of Corinth Consulting Group. Corinth Consulting Group is a small federal contractor supporting the United States federal government. And what we do is basically streamline red tapes and processes that the federal government has to go through on a day-to-day basis to ensure that folks like you and me and like our families and folks on the front line can work, can receive benefits, can apply for health care, and contractors just like us can receive payments from the federal government. So we work in the IT space, we work in the program management space, but our goal is to really support the end users on a day-to-day basis. It's tough to stay on top of everything. And I think the reason why we went with accountingdepartment.com at the time, we had no external accounting support. It was myself running the books. I was chasing business. I was trying to help support clients. So really, it was really finding a peace of mind that I said, okay, let me focus on the business. If I can bring a company in that does this full time and support us, we're going to be in good shape. And in our space, the federal government, getting finances right, getting reporting right is of crucial importance. It's insurmountable if you get behind on your reporting, if you get behind on your finances. It's a day-to-day aspect of our business that we need to get right. And when I knew we were going to win our first federal prime contract, I said, okay, now is the time to bring in a company that knows what they're doing. They've worked in this space before, and we can partner with accountingdepartment.com to do that. Used to Bill and Luke through a colleague of mine, actually, that was in a Vistage network. So it was through that group. And I didn't have any expectations going into it, not knowing how this process was going to work. I've always come from an environment where I've been sitting side by side with somebody in the accounting department, or I see them on a daily basis. So having Luke and Bill walk me through the process of how accounting department works and just the level of detail that came through on that first call was absolutely incredible. And to know it could be done from a virtual perspective was actually everything that I've been thinking in the back of my mind, that it could be done that way. But just a level of detail, even on that first phone call, the second phone call, and even the final phone call with Dennis that helped close everything was just spectacular. It's actually a breath of fresh air. And I say that because I've been through onboarding processes and winning federal contracts and having to bring people on board with security clearances and with all the federal requirements that are required just to get people into a facility. So to me, the level of detail again, and the thoroughness and the repeated phone calls, the status calls were actually something that I liked. I was surprised. I didn't expect it, but Bill and Dennis and Luke said, hey, it's going to be tedious the first 2 weeks. And it was, but it was very worthwhile because as accountingdepartment.com was coming on board, I was onboarding my first federal prime contract. So having that level of detail on that calendar management, to me, was perfect. Transition from the transition team to the permanent team was actually just as detailed as the onboarding process. So that was handled very well. And now being a day-to-day client, it's everything that I've expected from the perspective of, I know on a day-to-day basis where my finances are from a company perspective, from a client perspective that we support, from all the clients that we support. I know exactly when payroll needs to be run. I know when an issue pops up that gets brought to my attention. So it's that peace of mind of having an accounting team, not only just one person supporting Corinth Consulting Group, but also having an entire network almost behind us that gives me peace of mind, that gives our folks peace of mind, so we can do what we do best, which is one, run the company, and two, support our clients. That's what I brought in accountingdepartment.com for, and that's what I'm getting, and that's been fantastic.
That was really fascinating is what I was accustomed to with the other bookkeeping companies that I tried was everything would sit for a month, and at the month end they would what's called closing the books, and then I would get some reports of what just happened. And yet the numbers were neat, and sometimes they would even print them in color, so I got colored numbers, so that was really cool. But no one told me what to do with them. I could just look back and say, yep, you know what? That's right. We did spend that. Yep, that's right. We did spend that. And look at that. Yep, we made that. But no one, and I was made to feel like I had to know what I was looking at. But no one took the time to explain to me what it was, what I needed to look at, and then how to go forward. And that was one of the first things that accountingdepartment.com did, was talk to me about, hey, look, this is where you were, but if you want to be here, this is what you need to do today, next week, and next month. And that part of it was like, wait a second, don't you know that your competitors don't do that? You're supposed to give me a report and walk away. Wouldn't that be much cheaper for you? So that part was really cool. Probably one of my favorite things.
My name is Guillermo Birmingham. I'm a partner with a firm called B2B CFO, and we provide very high-level financial management support to owners of privately owned companies. And it's very important for us to have a good partner like the accountingdepartment.com. I was introduced to the accountingdepartment.com because of the partnership that our firms have with each other. And the reason it's important for me to have a good working relationship with a firm like the accountingdepartment.com is because our firm doesn't do accounting on a day-to-day basis. And we need to rely on good accounting information to give good advice to our clients. And I've been through several sessions with the accountingdepartment.com, and I was really, really impressed by everything from the way they approach engagement, how they dig deep to really understand what's going on in the business, to understand how the business currently does their accounting, and even to the point of how they put together a proposal. It's very, very clear. It's very, very, there's no secrets in it. I think everybody knows their responsibility on both sides of the equation. You have the accountingdepartment.com that tells you specifically what they're going to do, and then they also tell you what they expect in terms of the client, what the responsibilities are. And so it makes it very, very easy to work with the accountingdepartment.com because everybody knows what their role is. And I can tell people, and I always tell my clients, that if you want the best of the best, you have to hire the accountingdepartment.com because they are very, very stringent in who they hire. They have a very, very stringent accounting test and a skills test that I, as a CPA, probably since 1997, I even couldn't pass. So it's a very, very, very good company, and they have exceptional staff. and I unequivocally recommend them to my clients. When they start talking about outsourcing their accounting, the very first name that pops in my mind is theaccountingdepartment.com.
Hello, my name is Daryl Demota. I am the CEO of Rebellis Development Group. We are a small business, service-able, veteran-owned small business, Native American, Native Hawaiian business out of Albuquerque, New Mexico. We concentrate on tribal, state, and federal IT managed and professional services for the government. We've been in business for just under 3 years. We're going to hit our 3-year mark December 27th. So we're really, really excited to be getting there. So over the last 3 years, we've used accountingdepartment.com exclusively. And the reason is because they're absolutely amazing. The team that we have with our comptroller, with our accountant, they're just absolutely great. When we started this company, we didn't have anything for accounting. And we knew that we wanted to get our foundation correct from the get-go. And being in the federal government space, your accounting has regulations that you have to meet, and those are called DCAA. And so we knew that we had to find somebody or a company that knew those regulations inside and out and keep basically out of trouble. I've got 2 rules: don't get me arrested and don't let me go to jail. And so those are the 2 things that I was really looking for in an accounting team when it came to money. And we found it. When I met Bill and Dennis for the first time, they call you personally to explain exactly what a accounting department does, what their team does, how they're there to help you. And they go over everything that you definitely need to know, and they really make you feel comfortable. And having that opportunity from a CEO to talk to another CEO of another small business to get that comfortable feeling, what I call a warm fuzzy, which is absolutely amazing. And hands down, that was probably the biggest reason why I went with accounting department. Just to have that, able to talk to them, text them. Bill texts me sometimes, which is great. Being able to text him back or talk to Dennis is just really amazing. And you don't get that with other big corporate accounting firms. You don't get that kind of customer service. So that was really, really great. One of the biggest things that we were looking for in an accounting firm, especially at Rebellis, is that with government contracting, you can go from 3 to 3,000 in a short amount of time. And we really had to have our accounting foundation set so that we could take in that growth. It was a little slow going in the first year. We really didn't win anything into the end, but the team at the accounting department was able to work with me. They were able to be there for me and really make sure that our books were in line so that when we did have that growth, which did come in year 2, that we were prepared and that we were ready. And they have done an amazing job doing that for us.